In this video, we're going to take a look at how to add a custom cursor to your project. Okay, so if we have a quick look at the layout of this file so far, so we've just got a style sheet, the jQuery library, and a JavaScript file. So first things first, if we add a div with the class of cursor on there, and then inside that, if we have two classes called ring. The idea here is one of them is for the outside, and then the other ring is for the centerpiece. And then inside here, we'll just have a div. And inside here, we'll have another one. So for the HTML, that's literally all we're going to need. So moving over to the CSS side of things. So we've got a few things that we need to kind of just add in to start off with. So obviously cursor. So if we do position fixed, and if we do top 0, and left 0 as well. So this just makes sure that it's all fixed in the top left hand corner of your screen to start off with. Might not make sense right now, but we'll get to that in the JavaScript later on. So if we do width and height. So now if we kind of focus on the rings inside the cursor. So we want these to be position absolute, display grid, and place items center. I know you can probably do this with Flexbox as well, but this is just the way I'd kind of done it in the past. So I'm just sticking with that one. So now we're targeting the center div, basically this one and this one, because they're all named the same. So if we do border 1 pixel, and then if we do border radius 50%, so we're basically going to know that it's circle. So have a look. We've just got a tiny dot in here, but what we need to do is get all of the divs, so the rings and the divs inside the ring, to all be as big as they can be inside the container, so that they all end up being this size. So if we just do cursor, height 100%, then width 100% too. So now we've got the ring. So this is both of the rings on top of each other. So obviously we don't want that, we want one to be in the middle. So let's take care of that. So if we do cursor. So I'm going to use nth child here. Some of you might not know what that is, but it's if you've got multiple divs on the same level. So in this case it's called ring. So we don't have like a center ring and a ring, they're both called ring. So now we can target the nth child, which is the second one. So it would be this one. And then we can explicitly style that one. So do background green. Save that. So now we can see that it's filled it in with green. So if we set height of 4 pixels, and we do a width 4 pixels too. Little dot. That's the finished style of the cursor. I mean, I won't leave that as green. I'll just change that to black, just so it's all the same. So there we go. So that's the style of our cursor. So what we need to do now is basically move over to the JavaScript to get it moving. So when it comes to the JavaScript, there's not that much in the file. There's only 4 or 5 lines, but it does all of the heavy lifting for this custom cursor. So if we just start off with a simple window, let's move, and we do function E for event. So everything that we'll be doing will be in here. First of all, we want to target what we made, which is ring. Closes double quotes there. CSS. So we're basically making CSS inside the JavaScript, and I'll explain that as we go. So we want to do transform. This is literally just doing a transform translate piece of CSS, but we're doing it in the JavaScript, so we've got more control over the variables, especially for the X and Y position. We use backticks here, and then we want to do translate, and we'll start with the X. We want to do a calculation here. We want to make this variable of e.client x. This is looking at the event, and it's getting the X position on the page. So the client is the full height and width of the page that you're viewing. That'll take care of everything for the X, and then we just do exactly the same for the Y. Let's see if that works. So we've got a cursor and it's moving exactly how we want it to, but you'll notice that our action, because I haven't hidden the original cursor, you can see it's showing in the top left there. So in here we've got a height and width of 2.5 rem. So if we just go in here and literally just take away 1.25 rem, so now it's in the center top, and then if we do the same again on this one, now we can see our cursor is actually bang in the middle of the custom one. So now what we can do is, if we do HTML and then we can just hide our cursor altogether, because now we know that the new click is exactly where the dot is in the middle there. So one thing you'll notice is it's quite a solid cursor. It just kind of moves around. Some people that might be exactly what they're looking for, but I like to just add a little bit more animation to it. So we'll just kind of add a bit of lag, I guess you could call it. If we do kind of like this nth child again, so what I want to do is make the outside lag slightly more than the centerpiece. So that will be the outside, and this will be the inside. This will be the centerpiece. So if we do transition, if we just do the simple transition, and because we're adding 0.1 second on, that adds a little delay. So now we've added the 0.1 second on, that adds a slight delay. And it kind of looks weird because the outside isn't doing it justice. So if we do the same for this, but put a slightly bigger delay on, and what we'll do as well is just add it ease out. Ease out. And it takes care of the animation a little bit better. So now when you're dragging it around, you kind of get this chasing circle to the cursor. One thing, just to test it, if we add a button in here that just says hello, and if we just give that button some style, give it a bit of space around it, adding weight to it, and then if we do button, hover, green and color white, that'll just make it easier to see. So now we go hover over it, hello. As soon as the centerpiece kind of goes out of the box, that's all that controls the hover. There's multiple ways you can style this as well. Obviously I've just gone for the plain black kind of look. On some websites I've seen, if we go for a light grey, just to show you. So you've got the main focus on the center, and then you've just kind of got the cool trailing circle. It's just a bit less harsh on your design. So one thing we need to make sure that's been added in is z-index and pointer event none to the cursor. That just, so just to show you that, if I take that out. So hovering over it without those on, it doesn't have any effect, it just kind of glitches on and off. But if we make sure that the pointer event and the z-index of the cursor is actually on top of everything else, then it works perfectly fine. Thanks a lot for sticking around for that one, and I'll see you in the next.